Hare Krishna Gauranga. So just another Casey on the go with me, JD. I've been hanging on this shloka from the Bhagavad Gita for about the last couple of months now. So I've done 2 chads in that time and passed by it and thought, oh my God, I really need to speak about this one, you know. So in Attaining the Supreme, chapter 8, and it's text 9, Krishna is actually giving the way how you understand him. He says the Supreme Person of Godhead should be understood to be the Supreme Controller, the maintainer, smaller than the smallest, the oldest. You know, he's saying that he should be ultimately understood as a person. And this is what Prabhupada picks up actually as being the key point. He says this concept of understanding God, the main thing is that he's not impersonal or he's not void. He's a person, you know. That's how you understand. And you can't meditate on something or have a relationship with something unless it's a person, you know. Because that's, you know, you're not going to really get anything back from meditating on an object or, you know, whatever it is. The sound vibration, of course, you'd think, well, that's not an object or it's not a person, but with Krishna, the transcendental sound is non-different from Krishna himself. So, you know, that's a whole other thing. But Krishna has very helpfully given us the way to understand him, you know. And there was quite a few different parts there, you know. He's the oldest, which kind of works with the Christian understanding of God. He's like an old man. He's the oldest living being, you know. He's got obviously potencies above ours, so he can be the smallest of the smallest. He can be the largest of in this universal size, you know, being like a giant God. He can be this minute small particle in the atoms and so on and so forth. He can be atomic. He can be smaller than the atoms. You know, he has to obviously be able to defeat his own material energy, you know. Another aspect of God is that he's in control of the material energy. It's coming from him. So he can be smaller than it, he can be bigger than it, he can go around it, he can go through it, he can go, you know, whatever. He can manipulate and defeat that material energy. And then the other part is, it's saying that, you know, well, again, Prabhupada made that straight point. We don't take him as impersonal. We take him as a supreme person. Yeah? Because this is one of the things that kind of goes around. Who is God? What is God? Where is God? Why is God? When is God? You know, these are the different kind of questions. But Krishna's, you know, he's speaking these chapters, Attaining the Supreme. So it's a very nice chapter, chapter 8, as is all the parts of the Bhagavad Gita. And it's helping you to see how you can get to him, you know. So we always say that when you want to go and learn about mathematics, go to a maths teacher. Don't go to a history teacher or geography teacher. Don't go to your dad or your mum unless they're unless they're really clever, you know. But go straight to the authority. So what better than to go to the Bhagavad Gita, the words of the Supreme Person of Godhead himself? And so he's telling you, this is how you should see me. This is how you should see me, Krishna, you know, in this way, you know. But of course that's a very kind of surface level way of seeing him, you know. Even in the 10th chapter, he later on describes more of his glories. He says that he's time, he says that he's like this, he's like that, you know, those different energies. But those are just the surface. The way that the devotees see Krishna as that supreme personality of Godhead, you know, in Goloka Vrindavan, with his beautiful blue form, his yellow dhoti, his peacock. You know, you get right down into the level of, you know, granular details of him being that person who plays in the river Yamuna, you know, jumps around and kills the demon. You know, that's getting right into it, you know. If you don't know someone so well, you can only say, oh yeah, you know, the President of the United States, oh well, he must wear a suit and he must, you know, so you have some idea that brings some concept, but you don't know what he does when he's in his house and when he's chilling out, and you know, so on and so forth, how he kind of acts when he's. But because the devotees, they get to know Krishna in the most intimate way, you can when you say Krishna, it becomes, well, this my Krishna that deals with me like this. He becomes your Krishna, you know. So there's various levels, but that beginning level is very helpful because everybody wants to just have some concept of God. Who is he? So you can see him in that way, you know. If you want to know who's the most powerful, that's Krishna. If you want to know who's the most beautiful, that's Krishna. If you want to know who's the most opulent, who's got the most knowledge, who's got the most renunciation, so on and so forth, that's God, you know. So just a little helpful tip for today, just to think about Krishna in that way. Maybe start off by seeing him in relation to the material energy, and then gradually, as we advance ourselves in a process of connection with God, which is called Krishna consciousness, then we can start to actually eventually relate to him himself directly. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanandi Haribol.